From the moment I saw your smiling face, I knew in my heart you were my saving grace. You're the sunshine on my darkest days. With you, I'm lost in an endless maze. Every touch, every kiss sets me free. In your arms is where I long to be. Together we'll face whatever comes our way. Forever and always we'll seize the day.
Hello everybody out there. So I actually want to start out the show here today. I've been just doing a particular prayer for anybody that may need it, and it's the prayer of the patients, of transplant patients. I'm going to talk a little bit about the healthcare industry and what's been going on with organ harvesting in hospitals, and RFK Jr. talked about it a little bit. So let's just start off there, and anybody that needs to hear the prayer will hear the prayer. Heavenly Father, in this time of waiting and anticipating, grant an invaluable gift of patience to the transplant patients. Help them find solace in the moments of stillness and strength in the pause between progress. May their hearts be eased during restless nights and their minds find calm in face of uncertainty. As they journey towards renewal, let patience be the unwavering champion, guiding them through each step with hopeful hearts. We place the journey in your hands and say amen. Now, also, there's a prayer for the donors and the transplants procedures. I'm going to be doing these each time that I come on with different ones out there, but it's really important that I'm part of this particular prayer for personal reasons. And if you can in any way help out with the GoFundMe that I have presented there, there's a QR code up at the top there. Anything you can do. So I got a text message from my niece who is just going through a trying time right now, stage 5 kidney cancer, and it looks like it's not good today. And every day is going to be a different day. But I get this message from her, and she's reaching out to me. I didn't have my phone. There's times there's times where I don't carry my phone with me in the house if I gotta, because I'm getting older and I get distracted so easily, as we all do. So sometimes I just will put my phone aside if I've got to go and do diligence in the house. You know, certain things, feed the dog, take a shower, go to the store, that type of thing. I don't pay attention to it. Then I actually take time out to pay attention to it, which is right before I came on here. Okay, and I get this message from her. So of course I try to call her. You know, crickets. Then I reached out to her fiance, who's the one who set up the GoFundMe, and just saying, hey, you know, without thinking that I'm alarmed at this point, just saying, is she okay? You know, that type of thing. And normally she doesn't always answer the phone, but that's these kids these days. And I am not her mother, but you know, I'm her aunt. So I'm just praying that she is okay. And if you guys could also do a prayer for Dominique. Appreciate it. So one of the other things I wanted to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about, and I'm going to, before I get to this RFK and what's going on with that, and hopefully it's in the light enough. Joey G's got something here. I want to go, before I jump to that, my friend just had a liver transplant the other day, doing well, so fat. So far is what he means. Yeah, and I got that, the next one. All right, he says, so far. Yeah, we are praying. Thank you guys for doing that. You're helping me at the same time, connecting all of us to her and anybody else out there that is going through this. Now, you guys have to understand, and I know that you understand. Maybe I'm trying to tell myself to understand that all of the stuff that went into the arms are now, there's going to be such a high percentage of organs that are failing. And I will listen to somebody else out on X that just did this thing, and he says, you guys remember that there was a game out years ago. There was, I think, because you played doctor or something like that, and you would remove the organs from it. It was almost he was referencing a point that if you went into the hospital, that's what they were doing. Even though you may have been okay, they were removing things, and you know, the buzzers were going off, right? Warning, warning. The buzzers have been going off, and RFK Jr. has been talking about that. So let me just kind of get to that story here while I'm on the subject right now. Operation Joey, yes, you have a great memory, better than mine. And lately, as much as I'm going to start taking more magnesium, I'm realizing that it's one or two things. I know I don't eat a lot of food, but I don't eat the right foods. I do have watermelon, lemon, and spinach, and what else did I put in here this morning? Beets. And my husband's sitting there watching me throw all this stuff in there. But what I did is I took a watermelon, right? I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing is I'm trying to get all these nutrients into my body with these smoothies that I have in there. So all I did was blend up the watermelon, and I asked him to try it because it's juice. That's all it is, plain as could be. He said no. Then I started throwing all this other stuff in there and turmeric, right? Because I do still have the chronic back problems, and I live with this chronic back problem, and I'm trying to get to somebody to take a look at it, take an X-ray of it. All right, off my issues. Back to these other ones here. So let's just take a look here. Let's see here. So RFK Jr. just ended an organ harvesting from living patients. I guess that is the name of this thing. And it says, yes, you read that right. Hospitals were cutting out organs before people were actually dead. I mentioned this yesterday in opening my show. It is a horror story, and it's worse than you think. And I try to go into this a little bit more, but this is him doing this, and I want to see who actually put this out there. Is Rod D. Martin. So when I actually go into Rod D. Martin to try to get more of an update on this, he's kind of like all over the place with his stories, and I'm not seeing anything pertinent that he put out there. So a lot of times people will make statements out on X and just kind of leave you hanging, that they're clickbait as far as I'm concerned. And so that's where he left me hanging. But there's so many stories that are going to be coming out about that. And I just hope that the horror stories get cleared up, right? So this is Rod D. Martin saying, this is the part 2 of it. I didn't see that. Now I am. HHS found that at least one of the organ procurement organizations began harvesting organs while patients were still showing signs of life. They weren't brain dead. They weren't terminal. They were alive and were being stripped of parts. What the? As Joey would say. Oh my God. All right. So Kennedy's words come out that hospitals allow the organ procurement process to begin when patients show a sign of life. This is horrifying. He promoted criminal accountability and a full system overhaul to restore the sanctions of human life. And the fourth point is, let's talk about Lakeisha Wilson. She was 22, all right, we know where the story's going, had a botched abortion at nearly 20 weeks. Paramedics restarted her heart. She was critical but stable condition. Then an organ harvesting firm shows up and began lobbying her family to sign her away. What the? You finish it for me. And he goes on, her father explicitly refused the organ donation, but they kept pressuring the family for days. Then, because Lakeisha had checked the organ donor box on her driver's license years earlier, check your driver's license. They took that organ away without consent. Mercy on her soul. All right. So by the time the autopsy came, it was useless. Her internal organs were gone. The hospital treated her like a collection of desirable organs, not a human being. Undercover footage shows the aborted baby. Oh my goodness. Heart still beating, being dissected for parts of a Planned Parenthood, organ trafficking while still alive for profit. And the people doing it, laughing about at the price tag of each liver and lung. Okay, I'm done reading this. And I don't even know if YouTube is censoring me at this point, but this is just crazy shit that, where we are living. And I knew a lot about this, but I knew it from the dark side of things that I could kind of, justify. This here, and you walk into a hospital and it's going on right under your nose here. What does Charlene have to say here? It's beyond sick. It is beyond sick. I can't even finish that story there. I'm just too. And so you could do your own research out there, and everybody should. Everybody should first of all open up your wallet, open up your purse, get out your driver's license, and take a look, because now that they do these driver's license, if you haven't noticed, it looks like you could do them. I was in Arkansas, and I think the first time we were so new to Arkansas's laws from Illinois. Let me tell you, we didn't understand. We knew what a DMV was. They didn't really call them DMVs. They did everything in one location. If you wanted a driver's license, you had to pay your property taxes first. They had all these things that where they get the money. It's crooked. So Sarah Sanders out there, who's now governor, and she's trying to, follow under the stream of Trump, better start changing her laws. Get rid of the property taxes. You buy a boat, every year you got to pay taxes on that. All right, let's see what else we have out there. Let's see what else we have going on out here. I did bookmark a couple of other stories, but I wanted to bring this one to the forefront. I kind of touched upon it a little bit. I didn't have enough information out there about these organ donors out there, and let's see what else that we have here. All right, so he goes on. I'm jumping a couple of things here about this Planned Parenthood. People, take a look at it. RFK Jr., as Trump's HHS secretary, is finally saying no more. He's moving to the end in practice and beginning accountability to restore human dignity. Can you imagine if the hospitals harvested your child's organs or your own? The fight isn't over, but with a leadership like this, we're finally turning tides. Now, I saw something out there where somebody was, and it's a video, and you can find it on YouTube. It's coming out of, I think it was Louisiana. They were talking about Nacera. All right, and how she started it out is she wasn't talking about Nacera. She was talking about Nacera for us in the States. We have 3.5 more years of the current administration. What happens after that? And everybody's probably telling you, oh, I don't know, maybe Barron will be president. I don't know what is coming out about any of this. But just realize everything that's in place could be erased. That's what it happens every 4 years. It's ping pong back and forth. But, this is where the accountability of our own selves come into play, that we need to step up and say, and do all of our own due diligence. Check the back of your driver's license. Now that you know a lot of different things with hospitals, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I was told this a long time ago by my mother, that you could go into a hospital and almost tell them, do not resuscitate, or you could say resuscitate, whatever. They have forms there. They don't make it public, but they have to have them there behind the counter. It's like when you go up and admit yourself into it, you basically tell them what you want done. And I would get it notarized, a copy left somewhere in your home, some family member, and then you basically go back and you give it to the hospital and say, I am going to be attending this hospital. If anything happens to me, I want this on record. My mother did that, and she went into a coma. And I was visiting with her, and I had returned back home. Didn't know she was in a coma. Didn't know what had happened to her. It all happened after I had left. She stayed in the coma, and I get a phone call because she was coming out of the coma, and she was saying my name. All right, so when she said my name, the first thing she said, get my phone to them. She told them to go get her phone. In the meantime, other people had been in her little locker that she had in the hospital and were stealing shit out of her purse and her wallet, and it was crazy. So they left her phone there. She had a little flip phone, right? And in there was my name, and so they called me. And they said, does your mother have do not resuscitate on file here? And I said, I have no idea, but I do. I didn't know at that time that she had that. But I said, did you check with your downstairs, blah, blah, blah? And they did. They found it, do not resuscitate. But she had already coming out. They were already treating her. She was already coming out of the coma. She was alive at that point. So if she was to fall back into something, then they kind of knew what to do at that point. But that's basically what I'm saying, is that we have to take control of our own destiny, our own lives. We have to be aware. We cannot no longer lose power to anything outside of us. And I say this over and over again. Let's see. Charlene is saying, I'm thinking we won't have the same government of the past. But, my husband said this to me when we were talking about it, is JD Vance will pick up the torch. We don't know which way that anybody flies. It's like, which way is the wind blowing after, a certain amount of time? I have no idea. Should I pull a card on that? I think I will. Let me see what is going on here, because I get so, in any case, I will still just pull a card on this here. Let me see where else my stories are going here, and I will finish that up. And okay, so this is Rod D. Martin. If you want to look him up, look up his report. If you enjoyed the contest, please like and share his information once you get out. I found this on X. Joey, I don't know if you're out there on X. Yeah, and so the next story here is there's no such thing as brain dead. I will tell you a story about that. When my sister was in hospice, I can tell you the last thing that goes is their brain. So I think I told the story once before. We were all, it was me, my niece, and my husband were the last ones that actually stayed with her, because everybody knew she was at the end and they all left. What the fuck was with that? Brothers and sisters, everybody just left. So, you got to really think about this. Who's with you at the time that you die? And so in any case, my sister, we were sitting there and we knew that, the labor breathing was happening. We knew it was going to happen. But probably the last hour, I'm trying to think of his name. The guy that sounds like Frank Sinatra. Oh, can't think of his. I always do this. I have it and then I lose it. But anyways, we were playing his music, and sure enough, you can see my sister's lips that were moving to the music, and she loved this guy. So let's see here. The Crown Corporation is dead. It will not be revived. I want to talk a little bit about that too, Charlene. That is a great thing. I have to do a little bit more research on that, for the Crown Corporation that she's talking about. But there are other. So when you kill a particular virus, you may just still leave something a little bit left behind, and it may spawn into something else, right? Okay, it says, Lori says a statement, they would do what they want to do. Erase paperwork as I watch them help my mom off the floor, then coma. Coma patients, they are aware. My father, I just told a story about that, where his stepson comes into the room, or it was his son. It was my stepbrother that I didn't know at the time until he was dying and in a coma, came in and spit an image of my father, and goes and grabs his hand, and my dad is in a coma, and he's rubbing his son's fingers, letting him know, I'm here. I know you are here. I'm telling you, people, I'm not making this shit up. That's my new thing. That's my new slogan, and I want a t-shirt on it. I'm not making this shit up. All right. No, not Dean Martin. It's not Dean Martin. Blue what's his name? David Blue is that it? He sings all the Dean Martins, Frank Sinatra's. He's got a great voice. I think he was on The Voice or something like that. Anyways, that was his music that was playing. I'm going to put you guys on hold for 1 second. My niece is calling. I really want to. Okay, I'm back. All right, so what was actually happening with her is she's been on the same medication. I don't know how many pills she's taken, tons and tons of this shit, right? And she says, I'm not feeling good. I've got a rash that broke out. So right away, I'm just like, it's the meds. And she's like, no, I've always been on these meds, but we know what happens, especially if they don't know what they're crisscrossing with these meds that are out there. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope I'm back with you. Yeah, so Michael Bublé. All right, so where was I? If anybody could help me. I did ask my niece, do you need me to go there? Because now we, located in Gulf Shores here, they have direct flights out. Gulf Shores is a booming place. It goes right to Arkansas, right to Nashville, so on and so forth. So can you guys hear me okay? Give me a 5-5. All right, so let me cue this up. Wait to see if this is true. All right. All right, Joey G. All right, thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so everybody, before I forget, Saturday we're doing a show, a reunion with Joey G, with the guys, and Alley Cat and myself. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. I'm going to leave it up to them this time. Okay, this is all them. Thanks, Loris. All right, so let's just share this information over here. Let's give it a listen. I'm going to turn it all up. I hope you guys can hear it. You may not hear it after the show is over with and been recorded. It has nothing to do with me. It happens to do with the censoring. So let's give it a whirl. Invented brain death. The committee did not do studies on dogs or cats or rats. They didn't collect data on human beings. They just invented brain health. They had no patient data, basic science studies. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that because I could barely hear it, and I've got it turned up. So, and I've got my personal computer turned up. So basically what he's saying is they've never done any studies. And there's never been any studies like they do rat studies. There's no science data to back up being brain dead. Interesting. All right, let's see here. This really sucks. You can't hear. I'm going to try one other thing to see if I can turn this up. All right, 1 second. Audio, I think I had. I'll just turn it straight up. All right, let's finish this up. And then I got a couple of other things for you to do. But before I get there, I want to do a reading on who's coming into the next administration. I know it's really awful when you know about it. And it doesn't get better. It keeps getting worse after that. A lot of people think that brain death means flat brain waves. They're not even required to. So I'm not sure if you can hear this, but he's saying brain dead does not mean flat brain waves. He says it even gets worse after that. A lot of people think that the brain death means flat brain waves. They're not even required to do brain wave testing. No way did they do that. All right, this is just, I wasn't planning on coming in here and having this be, is negative, but it is the truth, and we need to know it. And how do we rectify it? That's what I mean going forward. All right. And basically, some of the responses out there is doctors are not making medical judgment, but rather moral judgments about who deserves to live or die. The concept of personhood was first explicitly proposed in 1968 by a group of 13 medical doctors and professions who met at Harvard Medical School. They offer, she kind of goes on and talks about what they offered there. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. So the organs can only be harvested from a living body. Of the two types of drugs used on organ donors, one paralyzed, preventing the otherwise thrashing that would occur. Brain dead is a convenient fiction. Let's see what else we have out here. I used to be a medical paralegal. Many years ago, I had to summarize medical records. This is coming from Trump as my president. Many medical records of the two deceased people who, at the time of the organ harvesting, each still had vital signs and were pain medication. They were on pain medication. So what I actually have to say to all of this here is, my God, Nobody ever wanted to make waves before. We have moved so far behind that. We have to stand up for what we truly believe in. We have to see something, say something, right? It's kind of like the show that, it's like the monkeys. I hear nothing, I see nothing, I say nothing. And then the latest monkey is this one. All right, so we cannot be quiet any longer. We need to be able to question everything. And I know that we're saying this, but are we actually doing it? I know I am. I seem like a big pain in the ass to everybody. I don't care. And you don't have to be old like me to even care anymore. All right, let's see. I'm actually going to, and by the way, to the person out there that follows me and told me to open up a Bible, what I have to say to you is what's in the Bible is what's in the cards. Okay. There's no difference. It's just a different type of a book. So I get these people that, he put in there, I am so sick of this shit. Well, get off my channel. I'm not telling you to stay on it. I'm not forcing you to be here. All right. So, and then if you feel that so strong that you have to leave me that comment, I'm going to delete you because I really don't care. All right, here we go. So the question, I think that I am concerned with, unless you guys have a different way of asking this, put your question in there. We could do it multiple ways because you will probably get different answers based upon the intention behind it. Yeah, Joey says, this is cute. Don't be like an Italian. I didn't see nothing. I see nothing. All right, let's see here. Is that the German way? That's the German way, too. That wasn't that, Hogan's Hero. It's Schmidt, whatever his name was, Schultz. I see nothing. All right, so let's see here. The question is going to be, after the current administration, will we still have somebody of like mind running the next administration, running the same I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Executive orders. Let's just put it out there like that. Same rules, same tariffs, same health care, make America healthy. What else you guys got? Help me out here. Help me out here. That was Schultz, says everyone. All right, AO is in the house, everybody. Yay, AO. AO. All right, so the question is, with the United States, are we going to continue on with the administration the same as it is currently right now after 4 years? How's that? Couldn't have said it any better. All right. Yeah, and God willing is the first thing that I see that comes up. A lot of spiritual cards that come up. And definitely faded. If I could show this to you here, this is definitely faded. This is all set up. And, maybe Charlene is onto something here. And we won't go back to being caught behind the iron gate. This is what they're showing me. All right. Could it possibly be a woman doing this? What do you guys think out there? And definitely everybody is going to be okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back again. Wow, I'm telling you, yesterday was thunderstorms that were from hell. And today is just a lot of different interferences that are going on here. Okay, so the thing that I was actually getting is definitely, it's already been set up. It's already been defined for us. It's definitely much younger person that's going to be coming in. And it's the forces, the energies behind that has already been defined. And it's almost like by that time, we are going to be happy nesters. I'm telling you guys that. But, the thing is they're actually showing me someone almost, everybody calls Trump the king, and I'm actually seeing the queen. Okay, so what do you guys think about that one? I'm going to have to ask one more question on top of that one there. There will definitely be no more wars. Everybody's going to be at peace. There won't. You're going to have. It's going to be a hard sell if you ever want another war, and we're definitely going to be really good at that time. So I'm glad I asked that, because sometimes we read into it and go, God, he's doing all this great work, and then someone's going to come along and just erase it out. I don't know. So let's see. I think Charlene actually addressed that somewhere along here. I'm trying to find that. I think that was further up here. There she goes. She says the Crown Corporation is dead and it will not be revived. And so there we go. All right, what else do I have for you guys out here? Let me just see. I did have some bookmarks. So just kind of want to talk a little bit about I'm going to change the subject here. We're going to be jumping into some of these household products that you use out there. So Procter & Gamble said it still needs to raise the prices on a quarter of the goods it sells in the United States starting in August. So what the? In order to mitigate the cost it faces because of the tariffs. Oh my God, they're going to pass the tariffs on. So we're looking at, let's see who we're actually looking at. I don't know if this story is true or not, but I'm going to take a look here. And so Procter & Gamble to raise the prices to offset the tariff costs. It's more bullshit, you guys. It's more fear porn. If that's the case, don't buy it. Seriously, don't buy their shit. So on Tuesday, in conjunction with the earnings reports, the world's largest consumer good maker named, I can't even pronounce his name, Sheshalish Jakarukar, I don't know if I even said that, was a chief executive order who company, basically officer as the company navigates the tariffs, driven uncertainty weighs the sector. So basically saying, hey, if anybody's Italian, you know what this is. That's all that I could say. I'm not going to buy the product. And we have already stopped buying their stuff. I don't know about you guys. I will tell my husband when he's got to run out, unless it's something we can't find, we find something that's a no brand. All right. So let me just see here. So this is how I operate, and it's up to you if you want to do it. You grow your own stuff. We go to local market days. Sometimes the stuff is just as expensive there, but we only pick one or two things. We don't need to shop like we've got a huge family like we used to back in the day. We make a lot of our own stuff, so we are really justifying. And I think that if everybody was to think this way, you probably will save yourself a lot more money. So this sourdough kit that actually my husband is working on making right now was sold locally about a couple miles up the road. This lady's selling the stuff out of her house. It's all certified by the town committee, and I was reading up on it. So it's like she's running a business out of her house, and she opened that front door. Oh my God, oh Madonna, did it smell good? And so we're going to be making our own. We've always have been making our own bread, but my husband likes to use flour. I don't eat, and unfortunately, whatever he makes, I will taste some of it sometime, and I don't eat a lot of it. It goes for even some of the stuff with sugars in it. I pick and choose, and that's what we need to do, pick and choose, right? Let's see, any new comments out there? Yeah, so again, AO will tell you, use the baking soda and vinegar instead. If you want to mop your floors, don't be buying this bullshit stuff that they sell out there. Use baking soda, vinegar, and then maybe take a liquid detergent. It's not a lot. And you're making up your own, and your floors will get a hell of a lot cleaner than what they're selling you out there. Is there somebody out there, Paul? All right, just trying to see why the dogs are barking. Okay, so that is the one story. Let's see what else I have under my bookmarks. I wanted to bring that to your attention there. I'm not going to go into a lot of geopolitical stuff, but the companies are out there are changing, and I think Kellogg said they can't change anything to 2027. Don't buy it. They can't comply now. They've had 4 years to do this, mind you. This just didn't pop up out of nothing. Oh, Amazon. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, let me go to my bookmarks. Sorry, lots of distractions, but that's the way it is. Joey, how are you feeling? Are you still home? Let's see. Arnie, I hope you're doing okay. I'm not sure if Arnie's watching or not. Here, I'm trying to find my bookmarks. Here we go. All right, I did want to talk to you guys about something in particular. This is a really another downer day. I hate to say this, but this made national news, and we know about this. This is a good picture of this MFer. That's what we're going to call him, Joey, MFers. But this is Andrew McGann. He brutally murdered a mom and dad at Devil's Den. It's a state park in Arkansas. We've never been there. One of the reasons I've heard so many people have gotten attacked there. I don't know what the park is like, but Sarah Sanders, the governor, came out on the news. You can find it on YouTube. And she said, if you're going to do anything in her state, they put out the dogs. They had a hunt for this particular guy. But the kicker here with this asshole is that he killed the parents in front of two children, 7 and 9, at the park. So he has got history of abducting children. He probably went after the kids, and the parents did everything that they could to protect them, and they lost their lives in the fight. Okay, so this was big time news here. Okay, so let's just change this a little bit. I like watching Drewski. Okay, Drewski is somebody that's spiritual out on X. If you don't follow him, look him up. DREWSKI. I know he's out of Chicago because he puts certain things out there that I get. All right, he says, it's so strange how much your life can flip on its head after a few years down the rabbit hole. You go from life where you work for a living. If you're lucky, you have money to go get an education in a college, and hopefully along the way you meet somebody you love. Maybe. Oh boy, I didn't realize this was that long. All right, so he's basically talking about his Christmas holidays and watching sports and all that other stuff like we have done. And then he says, you're always down to listen to the latest drama of your favorite influencer. You're told to save the money in the bank, and you bet on your 401, and best of all, 4 years. Every 4 years, you get to vote for your favorite lesser evil to be in the office. Working for retirement is how it is. You might enjoy going to the movies, catching up on the latest episodes of your favorite show before bed. You believe that you live You believe that you live on a tiny dot, infinite space, and we are just here by happenstance. You do your best to stay in your lane, as not to receive too much attention, and probably see the world as a chaotic place with nothing but problems. But now things have changed. Now you see nothing but lies. You see the monetary system has a system of control and greed. You see the religion as systems of mind control. School now looks like indoctrination camps. The hospitals are more about the money making than curing you. And I'm going to just stop here for 1 minute and put my sidebar note here. I found this out when I was doing programming, which was EDI. I've mentioned this many times, where I went into Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. And they have this Blue Cross Blue Shield that actually defines all the rules and regulations and HIPAA laws for all the other Blue Crosses. So they will have one in Chicago. I think they have one out in Texas, maybe, and it covers a certain regional area. So at the time they were doing this, they were thinking about, well, if you get sick and you're in another state and you're under this one umbrella of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, they didn't pay your bills. You would have to fight to get certain codes and so on and so forth. So I was in this association. Basically, it tells all the other Blue Cross Blue Shields what to do. The rules change, so on and so forth. So I walked in there and I found out it had nothing to do with health. It was all about the data, and their main concern was if the data fell out into a particular bucket where they knew that they were going to lose money, they would take that bucket of data and they give it to a third-party payer. This third-party payer would take your data and say, "Oh, okay, they didn't have their social security number correct," so they sometimes would go in and just make them up, or sometimes they would just reach out to the people, but everything got delayed at that point. So I'm using this Blue Cross Blue Shield as an example because I worked there. I know, I saw it, and I realized it was all about the money. Try telling people that how many years ago it was, maybe 15 years ago. People are, "Oh, come on." So after that, I traveled, did some more, and then I came back and I decided I didn't want to travel anymore. And I found a small local company in my neighborhood that was a third-party payer. And sure enough, what was I doing? Fixing their data. It was all about the money. They don't care. All right, here. So let's see here. I'm going to continue on here. So he's basically saying that we had what we thought was one world, and now we're finding out it's a totally different. And what we are actually seeing now is we all, we know this, but it's really hard to tell other people that still think that they're in it then to make money, to become famous, make a lot of money, become famous. I don't know what it is that the dreams are. But anyways, you begin to feel like a cog in a machine with your daily routine. You realize that things like death and time are just an illusion, that we're all have been here for many times before. You learn that the time travel is real, and it's not that you're even crazy. It just makes sense. You must realize that the foundation of every reality is consciousness, and that we are all connected at the smallest of levels. You realize that there is a creator, and that creator exists within all things, including yourself. There's more. He ain't done yet. All right, so you realize, you begin to dwell within the peace that almost supernatural, because that peace comes from beyond your five senses. That peace is untouchable by any man or nation. You begin to see the solution rather than the problem, and all of us are seeing the solutions. But we have to recognize the problem. We have to be able to stand up and say something. If you think it's a problem, it probably is. God, don't let anyone tell you anything any differently. I'm pointing the finger. All right, it says you begin to see solutions other than the problems. You no longer resonate with anything that doesn't that doesn't feed the soul. You realize that your exterior world is a reflection of what you hold within yourself. Life begins to appear as a dream within a dream. Ascension becomes an eternal journey back home to the center source. Congrats if you've made it this far. If some of you resonate with this, then you're almost likely on your way home. Ta-da! All right, let's see what else we have out here. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. All right, and then there's other people out there now telling us you don't need 8 glasses of water. Water intoxication is diluting your electrolytes, you're damaging your kidneys, and lowering your stomach acid. And I will have to tell you one thing. My niece was probably one of the best students out there. And she would always say, "I'm drinking a lot of water. I don't understand what happened. Blah, 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 blah." I know that AI is out there, and AI is going to be working for the human body, and we're going to be able to see things. I was just listening to this morning that there's going to be something that comes up that they're going to be able to do these particular blood tests on you, and they're going to have to treat you based on you and you only. We're getting there, so hang in there, you guys. This guy here is basically saying 20 years ago, 20 years ago, no one carried water bottles everywhere with them, and no one had electrolyte deficiencies. Let's see. I'll give a ring-a-ding on that one. What else do we have out there? I hope you guys are still staying with me. Am I supposed to pull a card for anything? You guys want me to pull a card for anything? Nothing personal, just what you might be pondering on today. All right, so Q Mom is out there. If you guys don't know who she is, I used to call her Flip Flop. She was Nancy Drew of Washington, D.C. back in the day when we were all trying to figure out what is going on in D.C. Is it full? Is it empty? Is it, businesses closing? She was running up and down. So she is Q Mom out on X right now. It says, when HARP is active, giant giant space-based lasers aim their beam to central spots on Earth. That spot will experience severe drought, hurricane, tornadoes, and earthquakes. Human combustion, or SHC, occurs when the lasers are pointed directly at human beings. Okay, I don't want to be on this planet. Do you? All right, and this is real interesting here. And I'm going to end it with this particular story and then come back to you guys. And we're going to play. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to answer some of your questions out there. All right, so this is coming from it's White Rabbit Podcast. It says, you want to bookmark this finding from the globalist slurry pit of crime. The wind turbines, the wind turbines that don't turbine are not to save the planet. They are to prevent farmers from being able to sell their farm or leave them to the children in wills. You say, how come? And that is because, well, the slippery criminals at the UN and WEF devise a plan that is very similar to doctors being responsible for poisonous in the arm. When Big Daddy government mandates farmers to allow turbine on their farms, there is a small print caveat, and that being is that when the turbines fail or become non-operational, the cost to remove them is $1.5 million per turbine, and that cost is solely passed on to the farmer. But there's more. Not only that, once deemed dangerous and unstable, the government mandates the farmers may not grow food or graze any animals near the now dangerous turbines. Slam dunk. Eventually, the farm becomes seized to cover the cost of the hidden forced purchases that become apparent. Well, this makes a lot of sense, but I know Indiana. When I used to travel back home, when I go visit my mother, there's a certain route through Indiana, Illinois, Southern Illinois, and you guys will see these all across Nebraska, Oklahoma, all of this stuff there. We need to just pick up all this crap and just get rid of it. And my guess when I was reading through the story was they want the land. It was all about the land. What do you guys think? Okay. All right. So I'm going to, I think I'm done with my stories there. What do you guys want to know? Anything outside of anything personal? I asked the question. Excuse me. Watermelon. I asked the question, what's going to happen after the 4 years? All right, let's see here. Joey says, I didn't ever think of that. It makes sense based upon what I just read to you guys. Yeah, Lori's is saying, eyesores, look at those dang things vibrating at us. The blades from a windmill can't be recycled. If they break, they have to bury them. What? So now it's in the dirt. It's in the soil. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to just come back here and just see if I have anything else. You guys have any questions? Anybody out there? I'm not on Rumble today. I'm only on YT. And that is because I set up our show for Saturday. And I guess because I have this $10 package with the Rumble, I can't set up things, multiple, shows at one time. I get one. And once I use that one, I can maybe get another one. And I'm so proud. I make about $20 off of Rumble for all of my hard work, all those videos that are out there. Because Rumble, I don't know who's running Rumble anymore. I don't think I'll be out there much longer. All right, let's see what we have here. Let's just, while you guys are trying to come up with anything, let's see. Joey says, exactly, Janine, not enough landfill to put those blades. No, there's not. There's got to be a way to destroy them, right? We've got a lot of land in Alabama. If any of you haven't quite figured that out, I talked about 44 football fields of aluminum plants that are going up. They're working on steel plants in Indiana. There's just, and this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen this year. This happened about 4 years ago that they planned this out. If you haven't quite put it all together. All right. Okay, this is just in. Let's take a look here. All right, I can't see with this thing here because it's going to make me jump here. So release the transcript of yesterday closed door meeting. They dubiously refused to cut the interest rates. We need those rates to drop. We need to. On my block, I think we've got 3 houses for sale now. I'm in an area where there's a lot more retired people, so those homes don't ever stay on the market very long. The people retire that are my age come down here within a few years. They realize they have aches and pains and they've been eating the wrong food, and then they're looking for either a condo or going to live with family members or assisted living. So there's always a house on the market, and the baby boomers were the ones that bought all the houses, and the other generations are basically said, we don't need to own anything because we were told by the government and we'll be happy. So they don't really have big concerns about owning anything. But the ones that are awake and conscious and want a roof over their head and want, they're having babies out there, right? And they're growing their families out there. They need to be able to buy a home. Right now, I don't know what it's at, 6-7% here in the United States. AO, what are the interest rates I think you are in the Netherlands. We're hearing a lot about what's his name, Cash Patel in the Netherlands. There's going to be more stories coming out. I was looking at those. And let's just see here. What else do we have going on? Any questions from you guys out there? Yes, AO, those windmills are huge. I couldn't believe it. The first time I ever saw one, I was like, holy moly. All right, let's see here. For real, in Australia, if you win $20 million, you get $20 million. Is this for real, or is this bullshit? 2.0 billion Powerball winner takes home $628 million after taxes. The IRS. What is this? Oh, this is all right. This is Q, Mom. I don't want to follow everything that she's got out there. All right, so everybody is saying there's these people need to be accountable. I'm not going to say who they are. You can see who they are on the screen. And, until they become accountable. Now, my thought, what are your guys' thoughts? And we're going to pull some cards on this. There's still more stuff that has to come out. There's still more work that has to be done by this current administration. Now, I happen to catch, I can't remember this guy's name. I think it was Scott David or something like that. He had Kathleen Fitz on his show, and I think I kind of mentioned this a little bit yesterday. The reason why there probably won't be any accountability right now, there might be, is because, especially in America, people are going to lose their shit when they really find out it's not about the list, it's about the Department of Defense and Epstein money laundering through that. And at the time, I'll throw the year out there, 2008. What happened in 2008 in the United States, if you guys know? If you know. People, and then it continued all the way up until the time that this, through the viruses or what have you. I don't know why I'm so afraid to say it. But in any case, it was trillions and trillions of dollars. And while we suffered, while we paid our taxes, while we did everything that we had to do and we were obeying and complying, they were stealing. So if you take this into account, is it really about the list, or is it really about at the DOD level, what they have actually done and taken from us? Pensions is a big one. Social Security is a big one. We were never failing at what we were doing. They were stealing. All right. Yes, Charlene says bankers racked it in. Lori is saying funky land ban junk goes to the technical trenches. Unbelievable. AO is answering my question. It says, no, in New Zealand, yes, Cash Patel apparently visit Wellington Beehive, our parliament. Very interesting. It is very interesting Stay tuned, AO. If you want to send me articles out there, I'd appreciate it because it will help with my story that I want to do on him. I've always said, and I put my back out there, and I lost a lot of people because everyone was rooting for certain people in the current administration, and I went with it. I said, no. All right, let's see here. All right, any questions out there? What are you guys thinking about what might be happening in the government or not happening? Let's see here. I'm sorry to say, but I'm sure there was a lot of people that were freaked out by that, and it's a sad situation. And there's a lot of the stuff that's happening out there, and it doesn't. I don't know what country. It looks like it might be a third world country. I'm actually going to jump over to something else, and I'm going to end the show with this here because we're coming up on the hour. I like when I do it by myself. I like to do it for about 1 hour, and this kind of. Wasn't sure if it's true or AI, but you guys play along with me at home and let me know. All right. There's more stuff about Ozzy out there. Hold on 1 second. I got to get to my. All right. So if you guys don't know, I have a Facebook page called Live with Janine. If you would get out there, and I want to thank everybody. I got 69 followers. I got to get to 100, and then I can go live there. All right. And also, too, if you want to be able to at least share this link, of my niece, please do so. It is out on my Live with Janine. It's for my niece. This is my godchild. I love her so much, and unfortunately, she's going through a very trying time right now, and she just needs the fun. She's not working. She's alone. Lost her mom when she was 18. She's 27 years old, and I've supported her a lot, and so has the rest of my family. I don't want to make it sound like it's just me. All right, let's take a look at this. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. You guys got one of these at home? Do you know people that have these at home? You know what it is? All right. I'm running out of desk space here. Okay. So let me share. Let me put this up here and see if I can blow it up. I can't blow it up very much here. So I'm going to set this up a little bit. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. It's kind of, let's see if I can make it bigger. Oops, I went the wrong way. All right, there it is at 100%. All right, so I'm going to shrink me and just kind of talk about it. So this is a dad with his daughter with this virtual reality mask on. And this little girl is going to bungee jump. Now, watch this and let me know what your thoughts are, okay? Huh?
It looks like you're on top of a building, doesn't it? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna hook up a little safety thing here. I've got you. So if you were to fall in the VR world, you're going to be safe. Here we go. You're going to walk up to the edge of the building.
Wait, Dad, wait, Dad, wait.
What? I got right here.
Wait.
I got you.
I want you hold my hand while I jump off.
Okay, I'll hold your hand while you jump off. Okay? You're going to walk up to the edge of the building. Look down. Whoa! Isn't that crazy? So now here's the thing. I know it looks really high in the video world, but you can jump in the video world and it'll feel like you're skydiving in real life.
So I'm skydiving as a kid.
Yes, so you're at the edge right there and you're going to jump off and feel like it's skydiving. You ready?
Okay, I got this. Wait, are you going to push me?
No, I will never push you. Ever.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, go!
going to come back to you guys. Wow. Okay. I'm old. I'm old. Did you guys see that? Were you able to hear it? They were showing you up on top what her view was through the VR thing. And mind you, my husband bought this for us 2 years ago, and I think I used it for golfing, and that was about it. It was really cool. I was actually doing something that she was seeing where I thought I was falling, and I freaked out. I ripped the shit off my head. It freaked me out. But these kids today, they're adapting to this stuff. What do you guys think about this? So let me put her back up here. So what does she look? Maybe 7 years old. She sounds very mature. She got her scruples together before she actually went and did it. Yes, this is a great question. Lori, you are on top of things. First, why is the stair railing? Why? Who does that, right? And I'm thinking this is just, I don't know. Who puts a gate on a stair railing? Yeah. Let's see here. Exactly. They're saying Lori's exactly. What a weird father. I don't know. I don't know about that. This particular thing here, right here. Let's see here. So he did. I wish I could somehow figure out how to play it back. Can't do that. But in any case,
it looks like you're on top of a building, doesn't it?
All right. So you want to see that? You want to make comments on that? Just go to Live with Janine out on Facebook. And I'm going to come back to you guys on that. What do you guys think about that? That just, it blows my mind. Number one, it blows my mind because of the fact that this is virtual reality. And when I had that on, I thought it was so real. And so he's telling her to do the jump. I think that they acted this out many times. She felt very trustworthy of him. She knew what was coming. She knew she was going to land and how she was going to land. This is not a first time for Justin Flam doing this. He's doing it for the views, right? This is what I'm thinking. But still, kids have no fear unless you teach them fear, right? So that's what I have for you guys today. And let's see here. I'm waiting for your comments to come along. Anybody have any questions about anything, past, present, and future? In other words, what's going on with your life, your world, something that you think, a lot of people are attacking the current president right now on this tariffs. That is, that's part of the plan. That's part of the minions. They have to do that because it's doing so well, right? And so we are thinking completely different now. We have to be able to think completely different now. So when in not only that, but a lot of them are basically saying he's selling out right now because of things that were brought up by Cash and that were all talked about by the big influencers and these journalists and whoever all of a sudden is now in his administration. We know it's a movie, but you got to have the good with the bad, and the bad is basically just coming out in full force. It makes me think a little bit though. So if they're going this one way, and they've already, it's almost like there's a certain game, mouse and cat game. I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost as if like Trump plants seeds for these guys, and then they take them like the little birdies, chirp, 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 feed me, and then they get what they want to, and then they spew it, they regurgitate it back out. Okay, and then all of a sudden he puts a spin on it, right? This is the world that we live in. Okay. Yeah, AO says, I never wanted a bungee jump. I never wanted to do that either. I have jumped out of an airplane. I have, I did free falling before they actually had tandem jumping for people. This was 19. I was 19 at the time. So I was a year out of high school. So it was probably like 1981. I remember walking, and I was brave as could be. My friends were going to go, and when I got up there, let me tell you, I was scared to shit. And thank God the jump master was cute, and he gave me a big old kiss on the cheek and said, "You'll be okay." I knew what I was doing, but it took a second to figure it all out. I had to get my mind wrapped around it. And I remember There were trials, right? There's a left trial, right trial, and whatever. And I've still taken away because I wasn't paying attention from the moment on. But I was told when you do those kind of things, you have a lot more fear in you, which I didn't see in that little girl. You have a lot more fear in you, which is good because now you want to survive, and your survival instincts kick in. But this little girl is more like, this was definitely planned. This was definitely a role for her. Yeah, let's see here. Joey's saying mousetrap. Yeah, let's see here. Friends did that too many ways and said she doesn't want to do it again. All right. What you guys have any questions on anything about your academy and your country? We'll take a look at that. If not, let's see here. I'm just trying to think of one story that will come up. Something that you think might be false. Let's read about something like that. Delta for today is today the 31st. Wow. Is take heed. Let me just show this. And take heed is the Delta. 24-hour warning. Be vigilant. See something. Say something. That's exactly what I've been saying. I just happen to click on this here. Know your surroundings at all times. What does that mean? Anybody out there? Anybody? Probably something is I don't care for this guy's information anymore. I do want to make a statement about something though. All these people that I actually had on my channel one time, and I bought into some of this stuff, just like a lot of other people. I didn't know any better. I didn't do my research. I was just interviewing. I love the interviewing aspect of it. But I will have to say, after my brain actually started to kick in, and some of the things that people were telling us was all marketing. A lot of it was just the marketing. Do I hold any grudges against them? Heck no. All I can say is you were a hell of a lot better than I could ever be, because I could never, ever sell anything. I remember one of my co-hosts one time said, you got to sell stuff. You got to make money to do this. And I just never went there. So to this day, I'm okay with that. It's because I didn't want to be a salesperson. I want to interview these people. In the meantime, I had to do a lot of reflection, as we all are doing. Take a look at the way that I handled the information. But now going forward into the future with all this stuff, I don't have any problem, speaking my mind and not feeling bad about who I am. And that's what I'm saying to you guys. Be true to yourself. All right, I've got one question out there. And then we'll see you guys on Saturday Night Live with Joey G, Buckshot, Alley Cat, and Arnie. It says, question, may we pull cards for Aunt Bonnie's current coma situation? You better believe it. Aunt Bonnie's current coma situation. That was my sister's name, by the way, Lori's. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Aunt Bonnie's current coma situation. Anybody else have any other questions? Let's hear it. All right, so the first layer that I do, sometimes I do these in 4 layers. I usually do 4 cards across. And so the strength of Aunt Bonnie is very, very strong, okay? And I get a 2 with it. So, when I get the 2 and I see the forces behind it, she's not alone. She's definitely not alone, and she doesn't feel alone with any of this. And so when I see the Sands of Times, it's basically telling me, and it's in the shadow side, there's no time. So what do you actually think? And we could always talk about what we think about this on the next show when we go into a coma. What is it that they're doing in there to there's no time, right? And sometimes if you watch some of these shows, these people talk like all this stuff happened to them, and you think, oh God, they were in a coma for so long. They might have been in a coma for a week, right? There's no time to relate to, but with whatever it is that she is doing and whoever it is that she is working with in there, is definitely, she's having the communications with it. She is definitely setting her course for her next move. And it is showing me almost a whole new a whole new. There's a lot of light around that. I don't want to say that she's. Uh, I see a lot of light. So she's in the light, okay? I'm trying to be very careful with this. So things are basically, she's planning it out, okay, Lori's. And that's what we do when we go in there. You know, we're making these conscious choices at another time about our life, and I'm actually thinking that whether it's a birth to move on or a birth to what happens when she comes out, that's what I'm actually seeing, and it. She's not sure yet. She's definitely not sure yet which way that it's going to go. So it's really interesting. I would love to be able to get, and I didn't know how to do this when my father was in a coma. I would stand over him and, talk to him. We all talk to him. They can hear us. We know this now by the information I gave out earlier, but it's up to them. Why do they go into a coma? What does a coma actually mean? So removing them from this reality and putting them into the reality on the other side. They're in between the two worlds that we talk about so much. I didn't get the two in this world, but not of this world. She's in the light. She's doing some work over there, and sometimes when you're over there in that light space, you want to be able to take your time. She is. Let me just show you this card. She is with whoever she needs to be with. Okay, right there. Stop. All right. So this is her. If I were to say this is her, she's got the angels around her, she's got spirit around her, she's doing what she needs to do. And I talked about this ADSUM. If you look up what ADSUM, ADSUM means. So this is what she's basically doing, and she's planning her next step, and she's reevaluating a lot of things in the coma time, and that's what I have. All right, that's for Aunt Bonnie. It says, thank you, Janine. Kindness is overwhelming. Yes, Bonnie is strong. The light of her father just lost him. It makes total sense. Yeah. What if I could ask, what happened, or why did she go into the coma? Okay. I just need a little bit more information on that one there. Yeah, the world is about to change, as Joey is saying. It definitely is going to change. Everything, and not only that too, when we talk about this stuff, that people are all leaving. Everybody is leaving. People are, if you see any memes out there, like Willie Nelson, people are putting AI stuff like wrapping bubble wrap around him because they don't want to let him go, and they don't want him to fall. He's like really old. There's a lot of people out there that they know are going to be exiting at this time. And who's to say that maybe that's not their next role for them to exit to help us, whatever we're going through. I actually was thinking a lot about that last night, and I'm not sure if you guys do, but maybe some people are meant to go into this next evolution, this next frequency, this next vibration. If you think about your own life, right, especially if somebody that grew up in the 70s, you watched that evolution. You went through that. That was tough times watching the riots and the police and the politicians. Now, let's just say that you were born in the 80s or the 70s, 70s, 80s, 90s, somewhere in there, and you got to see locally in your country all the different things that were going on. Everybody thought that was really tough, right? Maybe some of this stuff, some of this energy could be just too heavy for certain souls, and they just basically said, when this happens, we will exit. And the reason why I'm saying that, there was a lot of souls that left before the and a lot of you know who those people are. All right, so Lori is updating me and letting me know that she went into a coma because of the seizures. All right. Okay. And one more, and I have to say goodbye. I got to get to my niece here. She's needing me. All right, so yeah, so this is when I pulled this on Aunt Bonnie. Did you say it was Aunt Bonnie and her seizures? Again, it's the sands of times keep coming up, and not only that, this is the light picture that I actually see her with. she's making some decisions right here. That card in the back, if you could see that, she's making a lot of decisions. She's probably just doing some sort of review with other family members. I'm not getting that this was her inner child thing. I'm thinking this is people that she is on the other side with. All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. If you want to do more of this, we can always do more of this at any time. And take care and blessings to each and every one of you. Bye now.
From the moment I saw your smiling face, I knew in my heart you were my saving grace. You're the sunshine on my darkest days. With you, I'm lost in an endless maze. Every touch, every kiss sets me free. In your arms is where I long to be. Together we'll face whatever comes our way. Forever and always we'll seize the day.